Elster's role in smart grid is really to partner with utilities for their needs, both current and future. And the way that we do that is coming at it from a position we feel is somewhat unique in that we're not really about the communications pipe. We're not really about metering. We come at it from a utility perspective on their applications and their needs. So to that end, we have really great technology. We have great metering, we have great communications, we have great data management systems, but our role is really to match up those technology needs with those utilities' current and future needs so that they have a system that gives them the benefits that they're driving toward today and into the future. We have a lot of deployments in the Ontario market space. There's about 1.6 million devices deployed there. They've been out for a number of years. They're actually getting the smart grid benefits today. They gather up low profile data every night by 2 a.m. They take that, post it for the customer use every day. They then send messages to cell phones. They provide it through web access back to their consumers. They've taken that information and additional information tied into the distribution grid. So they are doing voltage monitoring. They are doing some control on their systems based upon that data. So starting to get real smart grid benefits today. One of the things I think is very important is people have to pay attention to the detail. And they really need to focus on their vision, but they need to start taking the steps towards that vision. Because really the smart grid doesn't have a destination. It's a way of life. It is a journey that will continue. It started with the first rollout of transformers and AC power systems. Just the ability to do it technologically has evolved, and anybody who thinks it's done evolving, it will continue to evolve. So it's how you match up those benefits today with that vision for tomorrow and start making real savings and real benefits for the consumer. Well, really, the whole thing about smart grid, given utilities and regulations, has to really ultimately benefit the consumer. So the question may be, how important are the consumers? They're really very important in that it has to provide the benefits to the consumers ultimately. Now, with that said, I think it's been repeated many times in studies, consumers will respond to information, but they do it for a limited amount of time unless it's really easy to respond. After there's a period that they get bored with it, or the enthusiasm dies out. So the systems either have to automate that, or they have to be very, very simple and allow for dealing with these issues on exception. Ultimately, these systems are going to tie together. Ultimately, it's going to be automated, and the consumer will get a lot of benefit in their conservation and hopefully in their bill. I think to really accelerate the smart grid, we've kind of talked about a little bit already, which is you have to decide what your vision is, where you think your best view of where this is going, but then you need to pick that low-hanging fruit that makes the business case work and go implement that. Don't assume you can envision everything about the future. Know it's going to have a learning and an evolution along the way, and then drive towards that learning and evolution. And I think you'll find the business cases pay back more quickly, you have less complexity, and you'll manage that risk. Because if you can have a business case that pays back in 2 years instead of 7 years, you can manage that a whole lot more effectively. You can get utility commissions more on board, consumers more on board.